pretty good for the challenger. But these players, this center of the RSC table is always so fascinating to me because there is so much room for improvement from the beginning of a season to an end of a season. We can watch these players go from not really knowing how to rotate to being able to run around the pitch, communicate well with their teams, not bump into each other. The ceiling for improvement is so huge in these ones. Team stats there on the screen. Belugas are going to continue that run. They're above 500 right now, but still sitting kind of close to that bubble. And as a team in RSC, you're trying to be above the 500 bubble to make playoffs. And the Bulldogs right now 10-18, so trying to find a way to turn that tide back so they can work their way back towards 500 as we move towards the back half of the season. Players here, their lineups: Blun, Swimmer, Friar Lee, and Chromium Fire, the four players, pardon me, I can count, there's 4 people there, 4 players for the Belugas. They're going to be in the blue tonight, and in the orange, Astro, Zeloff, the Squiddler, and AKU Limit. Astro, the GM of the Bulldogs, at least by my last count, so excited to see what they've got for us here today. Last thing before we get into this, KG, if you can pick one of these teams to win or take it into this 4-game series, who are you hedging your bets towards as we head into game 1?
Well, since it's the time of the year, I'm gonna go with Bulldogs because I think they're gonna be a little bit more hungry. They need the wins, so that 10-18 to get them into, let's say, 14-18, a sweep obviously would definitely be big. So I'm looking to see them be hungry, and I'm hoping I'm right.
Absolutely, and as our players join into the pitch, we're going to figure out if the Bulldogs have got that drive, that push to get themselves back up over or on the road back to 500, or if it's going to be the Belugas that will continue a pretty good streak and continue to punch that closer and closer towards the playoff run. But now with 5 minutes on the clock, game number 1 underway here between the Belugas and the Bulldogs. Challenger tier here for RSC, match day 9, and already Challenger tier never is going to disappoint. Never quite know what you're going to get as Astro bangs one in off the crossbar, cleans it up for himself, and 15 seconds gone. We got 1 goal on the board.
Yeah, the first one, the first miss, which I'm going to call as a miss, you could have maybe said faking. That second one obviously was not, led to a mistake. Easy goal in the first 17 seconds.
Always the name of the game here, these mid-level tiers for RSC. It's all about who can be more consistent than their opponents, less prone to mistakes, more consistent in that manner. That really can be the team that can take control of these games, and C1, C2 is just so critical to have touches with intention and not get trapped in just banging the ball downfield, as we see Astro look for a dump and chase. Zeloff will take a touch, but Chromium Fire is going to have the clearance back in the end, and we see a little bit of boomer ball come in. Blun's going to have another miss there. Can Zeloff find the shot? A soft roller to the crossbar. Astro there for his second on the putback.
And there you go. The initial panic, game 1, people still getting their bearings, feeling each other out. And this is a little, again, panic touching, panic boosting. They just need to calm down a little bit. It's 2-0, plenty of time.
So much time, not even through a minute played here in game number 1, but the Bulldogs have done a pretty good job getting themselves off on the front foot. Blun wraps this one around, can't get it quite through. AKU Limit going to be turned aside by Swimmer at the midfield. Astro having a great game so far. A long pass downfield. AKU Limit with a touch to the backboard. Astro will get another shot, but this one will be saved away. The first save credited to the Beluga. And they will keep this a 2-0 game. Blun's going to get another save there, and it will not exit the zone. Swimmer eventually comes back through, and this is an opportunity downfield for Belugas. They had Bulldogs leaning forward a little bit, but Astro will clear the danger for a moment, and now Belugas have to reset.
Yeah, so far I've seen a lot. Oh, and Swimmer, of course, and as soon as he transferred over, little bang off the back wall, a miss, and Swimmer's able to read that. Good patience right here after this. Aku tried to deflect it, wasn't able to touch it, so we have a 2-1 game, 3:19 to go.
Tough spot there for AKU Limit, just not quite able to get that over-the-shoulder read. Might have been better off turning back into the goal instead of trying to find that read off the backboard, but Teammate goes for boost, just not quite there in time, and it's a goal on the board for Belugas. So a great turnaround from them. They've closed the gap to 1 with a ton of time left. This one is going to find a gap in the Belugas defense. So Astro will be on the end of it. A soft shot, can't beat Chromium Fire, who will save it away and also carry it out through midfield, up over Zeloff, and another touch through the corner. Can't find the continuation. Astro will clear it away for a moment. Swimmer to the backboard again, a dangerous spot here. Zeloff into the corner to safety, but only for a moment. Swimmer takes it back. Zeloff will switch fields, get a little bit more breathing room here for the Bulldogs, as the Belugas are really starting to put the pressure on.
Yes, they are. They've been hitting it side to side. A nice banger by Swimmer again. As you transfer it over to me, Swimmer decides to shut me up. He says, I don't want that guy talking anymore. And Laszlo with a nice save, but Swimmer, good initial hit, doesn't throw himself away from the ball and lands right in front of him, gets his own goal.
Well, to give you an opportunity to get to talk some more, what's shifted here? Because it was a quick 2-0 for Bulldogs, and Belugas have stormed back the drop, 2 unanswered of their own. It's kind of flipped on its head. What are the Belugas doing here?
I think pretty much they've kind of settled themselves down. They're getting faster. They're reading the angles a little bit better. And since they've been doing that, they're putting a lot more pressure on there. And the opposites happen, where the panic touches and the panic hits have been coming from the Bulldogs, from them instead.
In the boxing match that can be Rocket League sometimes, let's say that first half is a split decision. Neither team really coming out and taking control of the game. We've got a minute 50 left. We're tied at 2. Very similar score lines on the scoreboard, as well as the Belugas trying to get out of their zone. Blund's really going to have to reach an opportunity for Astro, but Swimmer will sweep it away all the way to the opposite corner. AKU Limit underneath, can't find anything. Swimmer also coming up empty-handed, and it'll be cleared out across midfield. Chromium Fire, a couple of touches through center field. Blund will chip it back, and a little bit of small ball going on around here in that orange quadrant.
Whoa.
Swimmer not quite able to find that shot. Astro is going to apply the pressure here for the Bulldogs. Wraps it around the corner. Is any shot going to come in? Not quite in time as Swimmer takes it away. Another follow-up from Astro is going to be saved away by Chromium Fire. Secures the second savior for the Belugas. The defense really shining for the blue side.
I agree, and they're matching. Oh, nice demo as well. That could have been a very, very dangerous shot on goal, but instead the Bulldogs are able. Oh, that's a miss by a cool limit. Can Chromie get it? Great save by Laszlo. Swimmer trying to take control, but Aku Limit's there. The deflection that has a chance to go in the goal. Can Chromium get there in time? And no. Unfortunate right there. A great offensive series right there. Unfortunately, those deflected shots, sometimes just go in, don't they?
Yeah, it's that high line. You can apply all the pressure that you want, but all it takes is one touch, one pinch for it to go over your head. Nobody's back, even in the vicinity of the goal for the shot. And now Belugas, after really fighting hard to make it a 2-2 game, have dropped another one in the late stages of this game, number 1. So they've got to put it together here with 30 seconds left, trying to find one to at least force an overtime. Chromium Fire will have possession in midfield. Laszlo, the clearance. Alana touch into the orange corner. AKU Limit will take it back across the center of the field. Chromium Fire there, a backside demo. Astro taking Blund off the field. That'll slow down this attack for a moment. Swimmer will release. He's going to be all the way up. Can't find the 50. 10 seconds left now for the Belugas. A long clear from Astro. Maybe the last touch needed here for Bulldogs to clear the danger and clinch game 1. It's going to be one more opportunity. Nobody finds the pop, and the Bulldogs are going to come back after dropping a 2-0 lead to take game 1 3-2.
What a game. I have to say, Belugas, like you said, putting out the pressure. Bulldogs coming back, and the Belugas started to match it near the end there, and that unfortunate goal, I think, kind of deflated them a teeny bit, because they were matching the speed, they were matching, the 50s were starting to come together, and they were starting to win a few of them, and again, that just last nice hit right off the corner, if you will, just ends up going in, and that was the game winner.
Yeah, it's been clean from both these teams so far. I mean, the defensive show that the Belugas put on, because the Bulldogs have 10 shots on frame. The Belugas end up saving a whole 7 of them. So every shot accounted for somewhere on the pitch for Bulldogs, which really speaks to the threatening nature of their shots. They're putting opportunities on frame and they're converting on them. Belugas also, I mean, shooting at 50%, 2 goals on 4 shots. not bad either. And the Bulldogs putting up 3 saves. So a very tightly contested series through game number 1. I mean, we've got 3 more left. It's still very much anybody's ball game. I think either team could have taken that game number 1, but the Bulldogs have got themselves a 1-0 lead. It's up to the Belugas to find a response here in game number 2. Who are you looking to step up for the Belugas, KG?
Ooh, this is a tough one. I would have to say Chromium Fire, because I think they missed maybe 2 or 3 hits that kind of led to some, I would say, easier chances by the Bulldogs. I think Chromium Fire can do it, just judging by what I've seen. I just think that if they settle down a little bit, things will be probably a little bit more smooth. And this is game 2, so usually teams have felt each other out, and while the speed might get a little faster, the jitters aren't as common.
Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. Jitters starting to go away here, especially playing on stream. A whole different beast for some of these players. Just that extra added layer of pressure. Swimmer is going to try to get it off to a hot start and will succeed in doing so, as the save just not quite enough from Aku Limit. It is a 1-0 lead for Belugas. Almost a mirror of what we saw in game number 1, just the opposite team.
Yes, that was a Swimmer. Last game had some really, really hard shots. That one wasn't as hard as I was expecting, because that was a nice little finesse. But Swimmer's, I feel like, has a really good, solid hit. Marks the ball well. So when Swimmer comes to the ball to shoot, you got to be ready, because definitely can hammer it home.
And you know, the question, I put you on the hot seat of who needed to step up for Belugas. It's a tough question, because there really wasn't. It's not like Belugas got beat in the last game. Belugas,
right.
You know, they dropped it. It was very close, but while the offense didn't really step up, the defense was huge, as we see Blun take another save there, because I think Chromium Fire had 3 over the course of the last game. So doing a lot of work on the defensive end. A 1-2-1 passing play almost put in for the offense of the Belugas, just not quite able to work it through. But Belugas looking strong here. A little bit of a team bump of miscommunication on the rotation back into their end. Astro fakes it past 1. He's got it in some space now. Flick to the backboard. Nobody there in time for the Bulldogs. They did not get an offensive shot. A ripper here from Blun. Follow up from Swimmer trying to put it top left. Laszlo has the clearance. Chromium Fire not quite able to work it back through. It'll be one more touch to the backboard and a long clear from AKU Limit. Belugas, they really are, they've not gone away. They really have kind of taken the run that they take that momentum. I mean, it kind of petered off at the end of game number 1, but Belugas have definitely been the better team for longer in this series so far.
I agree. That's the thing.
By like 30 seconds, though.
No, exactly. That one touch that ended up being a big winner. These things have been a little unfortunate. A lot of the 50s in the beginning, first game, were won by the Bulldogs. And as the momentum started to shift and they started to catch up, this 50 started to change to them. So that's why I think this game is making a little bit more sense, why I said the Bulldogs needed to kind of get out of their comfort zone. They did that the first game, and I think they're being put back into their place, although Limit hitting it off the back wall. Can they get that extra one? No. Good clear out. Laszlo keeping it in. Lands funny, so no one's going to get that. A bump from their own teammate. Chromium hitting Blun. No dunk possible, and that ball is going to get cleared to the other side. Can Eku get that? He gets there in time, but Chromium's able to save that back into the corner, and this is going to be a nice, easy move for Blun. What's he going to decide to do? Getting it around Laszlo. They got a 2-on-1 here. Can he slam it down right into Chromium? Missing it. Oh, no. That was a great opportunity to put him up 2-0. Can Laszlo get it up? Gets hit for their troubles. Chromium clearing that, although there was a double commit. Nobody's in goal right now. And that's kind of what I mean. Some of the things that have happened. Chromium, a pass up to Chromium. Astro's going to take that away. Some of the double commits are going to be dangerous later. They need to shore those up before the last 2 games end, or the Bulldogs can take advantage of those mistakes.
Yeah, and I think we started to see a lot more. Just as we start to talk of the double commits, one's going to catch the Belugas out here, able to split the gap downfield. Astro, great spot there. Blun not quite able to mark his man, and Astro put it in the back of the net. But you said it, KG, the double commits, and we started to see them come out from both sides as this game has progressed. Just a little bit of panic from both ends, both offensively and defensively. We've seen the rotations kind of start to collapse, the communication maybe starting to get a little bit panicked, but right now it is the Belugas on the attack. Chromium Fire almost able to work that one through Limit, can't quite find the spacing, and another drive from Blunt, and Swimmer is going to put the Bulldogs on a 2-on-1. Limit will have the centering ball. It's going to be Laszlo that will be first to it. A beat there on Swimmer, pops it back high. Astro, another touch across midfield. 60 seconds left in a very close ball game. Again, all three players for the Bulldogs in the very immediate vicinity of themselves. They're a dangerous spot, but it'll be cut out for a moment. Swimmer a soft touch, and Laszlo will have the clearance.
Yes, and the slam down, that's a nice save by Chromium Fire. Definitely been there when it's needed, Chromium Fire. So since I called them out, I feel bad. I'm going to make sure I let them know that they are doing things well. It's just some of those misses from the other game were, I think, the only thing that I had to say, so I feel bad now. Chromium's going to be by themselves. Nobody goes to chase that, so they're going to get the ball back. Under 30 seconds, Laszlo wins the 50, although gets it back to Blunt. Blunt's going to beat Astro. The Aku's going to hit it back in. Astro's going to miss that. That's going to stay in the corner. Swimmer trying to take advantage, and he's going to take away. Trying a one-on-one, nothing happening. Met Laszlo and Blunt in the middle. Ball's falling. Can anybody get to it? Pinch towards blue zone, and that's going to fall overtime.
So close, but the ball running out of steam there in the corner, and we get to see some extra Rocket League here. Game number 2. And nobody, again, really taking over this game. It's been a slight edge to the Bulldogs, but with a 1-1 scoreline, obviously that edge is a very, very small. Astros cuts in front of this one. He's going to take it across nice a midfield pass. Nobody quite able to get there. Swimmer out in transition. He's going to look for the bump on Laszlo. Can't quite connect. Laszlo, great transition back into the blue end. He catches 2 players for Belugas, rotating the wrong side. A centering ball from Laszlo. Swimmer first there. And now Bulldogs will reset outside of the zone. A touch in from Limit. Astro cuts it off, but it's going to be an opportunity for a 50. Laszlo first there. Swimmer patiently on the back line. He's going to get the clear across midfield. And 50 seconds, the first 50 seconds going to the Bulldogs as far as momentum.
Nobody's back.
A long clear from Limit. Nobody back, and he bangs it home. And Bulldogs are going to take another.
That was a great read by Limit, and Aku Limit, sorry, or I call it Limit, and I just noticed there wasn't an I, so apologies. Aku with a great 50 win, and then reading that one, nobody gotten back, and ends the game in overtime. Nice play.
Somebody in chat tell us if it is AKU Limit or Aku Limit or something, so that way we can figure out exactly what it is. It's not the first time that I've seen them on stream, but let's lock this down so we've got the right one. I was absolutely butchering Laszlo's name at the beginning, and then I was like, wait. I heard you say KG, and I was like, wow, I really just can't read. Like, really a struggle. But the Bulldogs not really on the struggle bus this series. They have found what it takes to finish everything at the very end. I mean, they have had those clutch touches. The game 1 winner was with like 30 seconds left, and then this one in overtime. It's not been pretty, and they've been outshot by a crazy margin, but they're still finding ways to get it done.
Yes, that's what I'm so glad. I'm definitely so glad that and we have official confirmation that it is Limit, so probably not going to hear the coup as much. I'm glad that they flipped when you look at the stats and look at the initial 28 games I believe that they've played, they've seemed to be on their heels a little bit, definitely able to put a little pressure on, but once they get pressure, just by, again, judging by the stats, they must have had not as great a transition defense. They've been able to keep up on defense these past 2 games, and the Belugas, when they've put on so much pressure, they just haven't been able to get back themselves, and except for the game winner in the first game, that was just one of those crazy hits.
It does not take much, and it does not have to be pretty. It just has to get the job done. As almost off of the kickoff there, Belugas trying to get a quick goal. They've scored first in both games, I think, and have yet to be able to take one yet. So even with that early advantage, they haven't quite been able to put together a full 5 minutes, but Bulldogs have been playing them extremely close. It has been a coin flip of a series so far. We're halfway through. Do the Belugas have what it takes to pull this one back to a 2-2 scoreline? Or are we going to get a clear-cut winner? It is Blun out through midfield, gets a bunch of good 50s. 30 seconds in, Friar Lee comes off the bench for Belugas.
Yes.
And will be that third man. Swimmer getting worked on by Astro in the corner, just absolutely picks his pocket. And Swimmer will get Limit on the way back through. Blun, ceiling pinch pass down in the middle of the box. AKU Limit has the stop, but only enough to get it back to Swimmer here.
Ooh.
Backside demo from Friar Lee probably saves a goal there for the Belugas, as Astro was going to be on the end of that pass. And still, nobody really having any solid looks. Only one shot on goal here in game number 3 through a minute 10.
Yeah, Friar Lee looks to be a little bit of the wild card right now. They're not sure what to make. A little bit of a miss, and that's going to go wide. Les with a great play. Bumped by Limit on Blun, but that doesn't get him where he needs to be. Blun's going to take over. Lee trying to get in front. Astro winning that one. Swimmer going up and clearing it out, so giving them a little bit of time, although Laszlo's going to hit it in. Nobody to come chase. And that ball's going to go over as well after a double commit from Laszlo and Limit. Although Swimmer gives it right back to them. Laszlo winning that one. Astro and Laszlo together. Friar Lee's able to save that one, clear them out. And there's some of this... it definitely feels like a little bit of panic in this game from both teams, as that one almost goes in. Good D by Friar Lee, because I've seen a lot of double commits and a lot of players in the same position, especially on the same team.
This is definitely looking like a challenger matchup here in game number 3. It is not said as a pejorative or to be derogatory. It just very much is feeling like some C2 ball right now, and Blun's still trying to get it done. That's going to be the third attempt on goal from Friar Lee in that progression, and coming away with nothing is the Belugas. Limit gets it all the way across the pitch, but no backup from the Bulldogs means it'll be the Belugas breaking back out into the orange end. Laszlo a touch off the backboard. Blun fakes Friar Lee off of that one, just touches it around him. Now Laszlo with some momentum to the back wall, another touch, and Friar Lee with another huge demo again on Astro to negate an offensive chance. Friar Lee has been big at driving that one. Laszlo gets a revenge demo on Friar Lee. Limit with the long ball downfield. He forces Swimmer into an errant touch, and Limit with a shot saved by Friar Lee has been huge off the bench for the Belugas here in game 3. 2 minutes left, still 0-0.
Oh, Astro off of that wall pass. That's going to be a double. Nice hit by Blun. Oh, Blun's been absolutely huge these games. Few great saves, and that one right there was one of them. He had another one last game that was cleared across, and that, that's not the touch they wanted. Astro, Swimmer can't get back in time, and Blun, after I just started praising, I got to try to move on so they don't hear me. Obviously, you can tell that that's not the way they wanted to go, and that's what happens when you make some of these mistakes. Somebody's able to capitalize, and good job on them to capitalize, and the Bulldogs up 1-0 in Game 3.
Absolutely great position by Astro to be all the way up there to punish that mistake. And I mean, the mistake being made is one thing. Now Astro just a human heat-seeking missile Blun out of the air there. It was a massive bump. I don't know if it was on purpose. A big 50 and an even bigger save by Astro to keep it 1-1. That was a huge pinch, almost stapled to the back of the orange net. Now Friar Lee is going to steal that boost. A little bit of a double commit. Laszlo with the clearance gets the musty or something, some kind of touch there to the corner. Gets it around Swimmer, and it will peter out for a moment. Astro another 50 into the corner, can't find the touch.
Nice
and Friar Lee gets it across midfield, but pays for it with his life. Blun another touch here, all the way in. Swimmer with a miss, and that one's gonna find the back of the net. An insurance goal, and what I believe is the biggest lead in like 10 minutes of gameplay for the Bulldogs.
Yes, that one right there was unfortunate. Swimmer just a little too much speed moving up, caught themselves way too late because the ball was all over their head. Friar Lee, who's been, I believe, absolutely awesome coming in as a sub, just couldn't make that play. Swimmer's a little bit, I'd call that a little bit of panic, had a chance to make a banger play to cut the lead in half with over 30 seconds to go, can't do it. Blun and Lee trying to make it in there in the corner, but Limit's going to take it away and get it to the opposite side. What a clear individual effort. Although Friar Lee with that 50 that gets it to the opposite side, nobody there. Everybody getting back, playing a little too defensive. The deflection off the side wall. Limit's getting it same place. Astro going to take by themselves, giving it back to Friar Lee. Missing the touch, but that's okay. Getting it out of Astro's way. So I hope they keep Friar Lee in this game as the ball falls to the ground, and Limit's going to score for them. Make it a 2-1 game, although realistically 2-0.
Swimmer will take the goal for his stats at least. Friar Lee also getting credit for the assist, but I completely agree. Friar Lee, what was holding the Belugas together there in game number 3, but again, it just, these games, this series has been so close, and it's just been so many little things that are breaking in favor of the Bulldogs instead of the Belugas. Just the little 50s, but then the other thing that the Bulldogs are doing very well throughout this series is outshooting the Belugas. Here, again, you can see the stats. Quick caster math, 7 shots for the Bulldogs to only 3 for the Belugas. So at this level, the shot ratio and the difference between shots and between two teams can be really telling, especially as far as game pressure goes. You can really pinpoint who has applied the majority of the pressure over a 5-minute game just by looking at who's got more shots, and more often than not at this level, whoever's got more shots has got more goals.
100% agree, and 100% true. There is a very small amount of games where the team that shoots the most doesn't get the goals, and that's usually if they are usually triple committing, and that's not hasn't happened here. Bulldogs, in my opinion, have played a very patient game. I've seen Astro wait patiently. That save, they had a chance to triple commit that. They ended up waiting for their teammates to go by and do the necessary things before they turned to their job and did what they were supposed to do. I'm looking forward to the Bulldogs finishing this out, to be honest. I didn't expect a sweep. I didn't expect 3-0 at this point, but here we are, and let's get this last game on the road. On the road, on the way, something. We're going to get into it regardless. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not. At this point, with 5 minutes on the clock, we are getting right into this one. One more here for the pride of the Belugas, not wanting to get swept. They've got one more, not wanting to get swept, excuse me. They got one more chance to control that fate, and Bulldogs looking for that 4-0. I mean, that would be massive for the Bulldogs as far as their record goes. This one already not great for the Belugas, but there is a line between not great and really bad. They've not quite crossed yet, so a win here would at least keep it in that not great column. But the Bulldogs have fought for every inch of this series. Nothing has been easy. The Belugas, even if they can't take this one, they should come out of this series feeling pretty good because they really played the Bulldogs close. As Blunt has another attempt to just not quite able to find the back of the net. If there's anything that the Belugas can work on through all this, they just need to work on their shooting accuracy a little bit. Just got to find an opportunity or an ability to find some more open looks for themselves and to generate a little bit more offense, because that is definitely where the Bulldogs have had the edge through this series and through this first minute of game number 4. Still just the one shot for the Belugas, but Bulldogs building to something there, not quite able to get it through. Laszlo's going to have a drive. Swimmer turns it away, and with 1:15 on the clock, we're still level with zeros. Yes, Friar Lee going to try to take over this. It was a missed touch. Nice pass back to Blunt here. Astro in goal, going to challenge. Whoa, nice 50 pinch. Friar Lee's going to tip it back. Good little hit, though. Limit there. Touch doesn't go anywhere, and Blunt able to take over, getting it over Astro. Laszlo there to back him up, but Friar Lee can't get it in front of Astro. Astro with a nice defensive play right there. Swimmer hitting it down. Can a waterfall down? It does. And the double commit between Friar Lee and Swimmer. All three of them are in the corner. Nobody getting out right now, although I see Friar getting his way out, and that's the best move. I think, ooh, nice bump by Astro to Friar, who was trying to get it, and that's going to lead to a goal. Astro should get what's it called, an assist for this, because that directly led to this goal.
so disciplined there. We saw at the very beginning of that replay, all three players from the Bulldogs sitting in perfect. If you took a snapshot of that, you could show it as a coaching slide, being this is how you should be positioned in your defensive zone. One man out challenging second man in the middle of the goal, third man back post. They were picture perfect, and that patience led to them being able to find the breakout, get all the way downfield, and in transition, all it takes is one. The first shot for the Bulldogs is the first goal of this game. Number 4 to the backboard. Laszlo looking to make it 2. A touch out to the center of the box. Swimmer will clear it away, and Blun not able to get on the end of it. Swimmer gets the mid boost, immediately met by Astro, who will clear it back in the blue end. Friar Lee on that one is going to eat Laszlo up. A little bit of touch will pop it out to the center. Limit can't find it. It's going to bounce in. A angled sniper of a shot from Friar Lee is going to level us. And how does this keep happening?
Well, I think Laszlo had that little touch, and then obviously that little miss and the rotation of the ball. What happened? Yeah, I'm a little bit at a loss for words there. I still don't understand. I just saw the replay again. I still don't understand how that ball went, but it's that rotation that ended up letting it go in. Friar Lee, it's been a massive, definitely massive. It was a good job putting them in. They've been a pretty good catalyst. Nice pass from Limit to Astro. Can't quite get there, although Blunt gives it to Limit back, and Limit's able to slam it to the opposite side. Friar Lee going to take over. Blunt moving up with them. The Laszlo able to take it away from Friar. Laszlo winning that one as well, but Blunt able to get it away. Not able to hit that one. Astro with a nice little touch. Swimmer is there. Doesn't get dunked on by Limit. Sends it down to the opposite side. Laszlo missing. Friar Lee with a great pass. And that's a good stop by Astro right there. Again, all over the place has Astro been. I think the MVP so far. I can't imagine anybody taking that over right now unless somebody scores 7. And then in which case I might have to give it to them. Friar Lee going to try to take over in the middle. Limit winning that one. And Blun getting, met by Astro. And this ball's kept in the blue corner. A nice stop by Blun again. And I don't see them getting out of this very much. With a minute to go, the Bulldogs have just put on too much pressure.
And they're not letting up at any point.
Again.
I think it was Laszlo. Laszlo's been MVP of at least 2 of the 3 wins, like points MVP of at least 2 of the 3 wins for the Bulldogs so far. I'm not sure if it was all 3, but I'm almost inclined to agree with you, KG. I do feel like Astro kind of been the quarterback for this Bulldogs team. It makes sense. He's the captain, he's the GM. So Astro really kind of paving the way for Bulldogs. AKU Limit's gonna have a shot, just not quite able to find the back of the net. Laszlo taking Blunt off the field. It'll be a slow roller back to Astro. Pop dribble, can't get it around Swimmer cleanly, but it's still dangerous here in the blue end. 30 more seconds left of game number 4. Belugas just holding on to this tenuous grasp they have on a 1-1 game. A good 50 for the Belugas, though, is going to put them on the offensive with 15 seconds left, maybe able to control the rest of this regulation period, but Astro says not today. I'm going to clear this one all the way down. Almost puts it on frame, gets a bump on Swimmer, center ball from Limit. Nobody there. Laszlo positioned pretty conservatively, playing for overtime here. It's going to be one more touch from Friar Lee. Blunt smacks it to the ground, and in game 4, we're going to get extras one more time here. First series, overtime. And the Belugas are hunting for that goal that'll give them their first win of the series and prevent the sweep.
Yes, and they've been putting a lot of pressure on. They definitely started off, I believe, the other ones. And that's it right there. Blun able to get it in. As you can see, Laszlo and Limit with a teeny bit of a miscommunication here. Maybe not, actually. I could have sworn I saw Laszlo go up, and I apologize for missing that one. He actually ended up going in goal. And a good slam right there, so they don't get swept. And, well, there you go right there. How do you feel about those 4 games?
I think that, honestly, a 3-1 is not indicative of how this series played out. I think that a 2-2 would have been the best representation because it was such an even series. We got 2 overtimes out of it. It was just a very close series, and Belugas finally able to find that last little push through at the very end of game number 4 to get themselves at least 1 game, but all that it was like 1 or 2 bounces that gave the games 1-3 to the Bulldogs. It was that close. I don't think we had anything that wasn't a 1-goal game. Every game ended at 2-1. I think game 3 was the one that there was a fluke goal at the very end in garbage time, but still, I mean, it's still every game was a 1-goal game, and it just there isn't any other way to say it besides it was just even, and the Belugas kind of just got the short end of the stick as far as lucky bounces go. But
Yep.
I don't think we could have asked for a better first series.
No, I agree. The Bulldogs definitely played way more aggressive than their stats showed. Um, that's definitely something they probably should keep up on and keep that momentum because they showed some really nice patience. They showed a lot of teamwork, especially for Challenger. But it seems like their comms were really, really on target. When things got a little bit spicy, things happen like that. The double commits can come in. Where this is Challenger. Um, where I don't know this. I think they did a great job of showing you what good Rocket League and good solid Rocket League can be. And I'm really happy for the Bulldogs. They record changes a little bit, and they move themselves forward to I don't know, maybe even make the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's definitely the time to be doing that as we're winding down, looking at that last third of the season. A great result for the Bulldogs. Belugas definitely, not the result that I think they would have liked as far as win-loss goes, but a great
Hmm.
showing for them regardless. They have a lot that they can build on from this one.
Yes.
Bulldogs are looking like a very solid team as well, so I think that these are two teams that we could be looking forward to. They can really kind of start to tighten those screws. We might be seeing them more down the line, but now we have got the pleasure. We got to see that tight foundational Rocket League in the Challenger Series. The next game up is a Master Series, which is our
Mhm.
second highest tier. So you're going to get to see all that tight foundational play turned up to 11, as this is some of the best of the best that we've got to offer in RSC. Our matchup here this evening, Lemurs versus Seoul from the Jungle and the Elements, respectively. Two teams, two franchises have been kicking around RSC for a little bit, so excited to see what these teams have got for us tonight.
Yeah, initial chat says Soul. We got a few people who are liking that particular uh, franchise, so shout out to them and anybody who shouts out the other team, obviously. We're having a little bit trouble connecting, and but we're gonna get this game on.
Soon we'll be getting it. Soon, TM, always the thing to append to anything that goes with a stream of any sort, because it is always whenever things are supposed to go the way they're supposed to. Right now, Rocket League is doing the thing where it just shows us black screens over and over again. So the best thing that could ever happen when trying to run a production is happening right now. It's the greatest, but it does not diminish from the fact that the opportunities for people, the challenger to above a pipeline. I've been around this league for a very long time, and getting to watch players start as a lower ranked player and work their way up, and seeing names in upper levels that I had seen uh, way down the levels just a year or two ago. Scotty, a player that played in Challenger and then exploded up, just a massive improvement that we got to see, because there is just so many opportunities. RSC really providing players with the chance to improve, giving them the opportunities to play with teammates that are around their level, and that difference, that ability of this league to be able to take people and to give them a little bit more than ranked, so that way, because you can improve in rank, sure, but the ability to really improve, I feel like, is something that is so much more unique to these kind of league settings, where you get to play with the same people every week. You get communication every match. Everybody's in voice channels. You're always talking. You learn the fundamentals. You learn how to rotate. You learn how to communicate, and that opens up all the opportunities, all the improvement for you to be able to go from like I was a prospect player when I joined D2, didn't know how to air roll. So by the time that I stopped playing in RSC, I had just scraped GC, and that massive level of improvement I would have never found without RSC. And I think that you could ask pretty much anybody what their opinions are on that, and it's a great thing to have, and we get to see these master players show us what all that improvement can do here. So it's exciting to see what these guys have got.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. RSC has definitely been an awesome, it helped me improve. The first time getting in, I literally knew nothing. The word back post was foreign to me. It could be two words, by the way. I'm not sure how people combine it or not. That it wasn't a foreign concept to me, and I was lucky enough to have somebody come and tell me some things, give me